friends. So this weekend kind of changed a little bit for me. I was supposed to be out camping, but as you can hear and see, it is dumping rain and the wind is crazy. So my dad and I decided, why don't we brew some beer today? And we did just that. We're in the middle of the mashing. Well, we already did the mashing process, and now we're in the middle of the extraction process where we're pulling the liquid out from the mash and putting it into the pot that we're going to use for our brewing process. And that takes about an hour because we want to make sure all the sugars come out of the malt and the mash and allow it to ferment. That's what causes it's not fermenting yet, but that's what causes the fermentation, is the sugars. So that's what part we're at right now. I made some, actually, you know what? I'm going to show you a couple little clips here of some squirrels running around in this backyard. Look at this yard. Like starting over here at the shed over my shoulder. Look at how beautiful this is. And sitting out here, enjoying a cup of coffee. There's our, right here are our bags of homegrown hops. My dad grows hops that we're going to be using. Wood for the wood stove. The wood shed is back out here around this corner. But my parents have a beautiful backyard, and you can hear the bird song out here. And I'll show you some clips from the squirrels and all of that. Yeah, my dad's a goofball. But yeah, I made a blend that I'm going to be smoking a little bit later for you guys, and it's 3 parts. 2 parts of it is GLP's Regents Flake, and 1 part is Cornell and Deal's Mountain Home, or Mountain Camp. And man, it is delicious. It is a little bit smoky, very sweet, floral, and spicy, a little spicy from the Perique. And so I'm definitely going to smoke some of that for you guys later. I want to thank Doug at Cargo Hold. I went down and got a couple tins down there and saw the Mountain Camp sitting there, and I said, "Oh, I've never tried that." And he was like, "Well, give it a shot and let me know what you think." And you know, he let me have a little bit of it, and man, it's absolutely delicious. So I thank Doug for leading me to the Mountain Camp there, because it was delicious. But it was really strong, so that's why I wanted to put it with a little bit of Regents Flake, which I find tasty but very mild. So the combination of the two really gave a perfect kind of middle of the road profile, which is what I look for in my tobaccos, whether they're English blends or Virginia blends. I like middle of the road tobaccos, not too strong, not too sweet, and I find that works perfectly for me. Sorry for the shaking. I didn't bring my my stand, and trying to film while you're holding it, it's like all you're doing is shaking. But look at this. See if you can see it here, the squirrel getting into the box there. It's awesome sitting in this backyard. It's perfect. So anyway, I'll get back with you guys a little bit later. What a weirdo. You got food over here, dude. There's peanuts right there. Why are you stealing the bird's food? All right, we got our mash done and extracted, and as you can see, we got the fire lit. We are starting our brewing process. Oh man, this is gonna be a good beer when it's all done. I'm gonna show you guys something. So, we get the mash and we get the grains and we drain all the water out of them. So all you have left is spent grains. And then you can use that, which my dad's grabbing, he's grabbing a 2-cup thing and filling it up, and my mom uses that to make spent grain bread. So a lot of stuff can get reused from pretty much anything that you do when you're baking stuff or brewing stuff. A lot of things can be reused, which is really nice. Okay, I already put them in so you don't get to see the dramatic effect of me putting them in. But there's the 2 bags of Cascade hops. And we are definitely on our way with our brewing process. All right, we're almost done with the brewing process. We've got our hops all done in there. About to run some water through that cooling coil and get it cooled down so we can transfer it into our carboy. Here we are, transferring our beer into our carboy. All the lines have been sanitized, carboy's been sanitized, bubbler's been sanitized, funnel, everything. All right, I actually didn't get to smoke a pipe last night. This is the next day after the beer brewing. It got really cold and we just started wanting to eat some dinner and hang out, and we watched a movie, Quigley Down Under. I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen it, but pretty good movie. Tom Selleck and I can't remember the lady's name, Laura San Girappadino or whatever her name is. I can't remember. Anyway, good movie, but I'm headed home right now because my wife decided to take the day off of work, and she would like to go head up to Port Angeles, which is about an hour and 15 minutes away, and go do some antiquing and stuff like that. So I'm going to bring you guys with us and show you around Port Angeles a little bit. So this video has gone from camping adventure to Donnie's family adventures. So we're gonna have some fun today. Anyway, I'll be back with you guys in just a little bit. All right, we are up in Port Townsend, and not Port Townsend. All right, we are up in Port Angeles. We're having fun. We just left some market where I didn't want to film inside, and yeah, we got some caramel macchiatos, and actually, honestly, the caramel macchiatos here are outstanding. It's the Country Airs Market, and yeah, the caramel macchiatos here are absolutely amazing. So if you like caramel macchiatos and you don't like them too sweet, that's a perfect place to go. All right, my friends, I am home. As you see, I didn't film much more in Port Angeles. It was because of all of the tourism around Port Angeles, because of the movies and books of Twilight, a lot of people don't allow filming in their shops. So I didn't get to film very much. I did buy a lighter while I was up there in an antique shop. It's an antique Zippo lighter. And of course, I already put it in the case and I didn't bring it down to show you. So you guys get my normal, everyday brass Zippo. But Yeah, I found a nice old Zippo lighter, and it's in a display case. And once I fill that display case, I'm going to mount it up on the wall. So, anyway, like I had said, I mixed 1 ounce of Mountain Home with 2 ounces of Regent's Flake, or Mountain Camp. Sorry, Mountain Camp and Regent's Flake. And this is a very, very good English blend now. It was a Virginia Oriental, and then I mixed that heavy Mountain Camp English blend into here, and now it's a light to medium bodied English blend, and it's got some really nice flavors in it. So, I started messing around with blending tobaccos, and in the beginning, it was a nightmare. Some of my tobaccos came out good, some came out bad. But once I started looking at different blends and figuring out, this component goes well with this component in this amount, or that component goes well with this component in this amount, I started being able to kind of figure it out and being able to look at 2 blends and being like, that would go really well with that. That would go really well with that if it was pressed. That would go really well with that if it was pressed and then sliced into flakes, and then you rubbed it out before you put it in your pipe. Different things like that. And I've got not a lot, but I've probably got 2 pounds worth of experimental tobaccos that I can work with, some Virginia Periques and some English blends, stuff like that I can work with and kind of figure out what is going to be good for blending. So I'm really excited to start playing around with those. This weekend didn't go exactly as I had planned. I was supposed to go camping. I was supposed to go, I was just supposed to go camping, out hiking, take you guys on a little stroll and an adventure in the woods, and that didn't happen. So, 1, I apologize for that, but 2, I don't really apologize for that because I still had a good weekend. And I think you guys got some good looks there at brewing beer and what it's like just to hang out at home and do stuff around the house. And it was fun. Blending a tobacco, brewing some beer, sitting and talking with my dad, and just talking about various things as, we talked a lot about politics. We talked a lot about the world and the state of the world and why socialism worked in the Nordic countries, but it doesn't work here, that kind of stuff. And we basically solved all the world's problems. I'm just letting you know we did. But no one's ever going to find out because, we don't want to cause a big riot or anything. So, but that was one thing that I realized is I was a little bit frustrated that the day wasn't or the weekend wasn't going to go the way that I thought it was going to go. But then I sit back and I said, you know what? I'm just going to live in every moment of this weekend and just be happy with what I have. And that's exactly what happened. I got to sit there and brew beer with my dad and relax and talk and chat and not really, do too much. We got to watch a movie together and hang out. And my mom got to hang out with us. We got to have a, discussion and talk about just different things. And then I actually stayed over at their house last night and then woke up this morning. We all went to church together and then went back and made biscuits and gravy and eggs and had a great time. And then I came home and hung out with my wife, and we went up to Port Angeles, which is about an hour away, and then came back home and just had a really nice time together. And, I sit back and I look at the weekend and I'm happy. And I'm happy with the way the weekend went. I was able to relax a little bit. I was able to get stuff done. And sometimes that's just the way it is. Sometimes the things that we don't want to happen, or the things we want to happen that don't happen, can lead to the things that we didn't think would happen, but were absolutely amazing. So that's one thing that I kind of want to hit on point today, is that sometimes the best things in life come out of stuff going wrong. And not that anything went wrong this weekend, it's just stuff didn't go exactly the way I planned. So Ben and I are going to try to get our podcast done tonight, hopefully. We'll see. My wife went to go hang out with her friend, and sounds like she's back home. So I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to open the garage. I'm going to hang out a little bit more with my wife before Ben and I do our podcast tonight. So be blessed, my friends. Cheers.